Have you ever tried to do something that you thought was a really good idea and it wound up like not working out? Well, in this video, I want to talk about one of the best ways to always make sure that what you're doing is going to succeed and it's going to be something that really matters and lasts. The other day I was reading a passage in the book of John that I've read a lot of times, and something really stood out to me that Jesus spoke to me as I was reading it, and I want to share that with you really quick. Jesus said in John chapter 10, he's talking about the sheep and the gate and how he's the good shepherd, and he says this, that the gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice and they come to him. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. He's gathered his own flock and he walks ahead of them, and they follow him because they know his voice. And I think about all the times in my life where I've tried to plan something and then I ask God to bless what I've already kind of planned out. And one of the things I've discovered is that actually following Jesus means going where he's going, right? It means doing the things that he's already doing. In fact, if you want to make sure that you're always doing something that succeeds, go where Jesus is already working. And it's amazing to see God working around you, and as you begin to be caught up in that, God begins to work inside of you. The reality is that a lot of times I think Christians try so hard to do their thing that came from their feelings, that was such it came from like their own thoughts, and they go, God, why didn't you bless that? Why weren't you part of that? And I think a lot of times it's because God was going like, I was already doing something over here, and I would love for you to join me in what I'm doing, and I want to just throw this out to you that Jesus is inviting you to be part of what he's already doing. What's going on in your life? What do you see working around you? What people do you see being used of God? Where do you see God moving through his Holy Spirit? And maybe what do you hear the voice of God actually saying to you? Because he says he walks ahead of them and they follow him because they know his voice. Jesus is going to lead you where he's working, where he's going. He's not going to lead you somewhere where he's not going. That's impossible, because if you start going where Jesus isn't leading, guess what? You're going there by yourself. And we all know what happens when we try to do things in our own strength. So my encouragement to you today is this. Go where Jesus is. Try to be part of what Jesus is already doing. And if you don't know what that is, spend some time listening to the voice of God, and he'll begin to lead you as he is moving in your life, and as he has a space to speak because you've given him the space to listen. Listen for the voice of God and go where God's already working. And I promise you, it's going to be amazing the things that you see God doing all around you.